Hi there, welcome, and thank you for watching. Today I thought I'd spend a couple minutes talking about the difference between emotions and feelings. I used to think that emotions and feelings were the same thing. They were synonyms for each other. And what I've learned is they're really related, but they're quite different, and that information has been really useful to me. So let me explain how they're different. So emotions are a physical experience. Emotions are felt in their body. Emotions are controlled by one of our oldest brains, and the emotional brain is simple. The emotional brain is interested in safety. Safety defined by sameness, so familiarity and comfort, and always looking for threat. So what happens is, as soon as our amygdala notices something different, something new, or something potentially threatening, the amygdala will send an alert signal in the form of chemicals. So our body will be in a state of alert. And depending on the intensity, it will regulate that in the body. Now, feelings are a mental or a conscious brain experience of emotions. So our knowledge centers of our brains experience feelings. So feelings are an interpretation of why is my body feeling this way, and other data points the knowledge centers of our brains are picking up. And so our feelings, our conscious experience of emotion in our knowledge centers of our brains, can either intensify or it can downregulate those emotions. And what's interesting is the emotional response is quite rapid and quite automated, and it doesn't last very long. In the absence of us prolonging it with a feeling, as soon as the threat transpires, it's gone. But our feelings can signal to intensify or continue that feeling. So here's where I think this is interesting. The breakthrough for me was when I realized it's my interpretation that is driving the feeling that I'm feeling. And so let me give you an example. Say, for instance, you start a new job. And when you go into the office, the new office, the first time you go into the office on your first day of work, your amygdala is going to immediately sense this is not the same. And so your amygdala will activate your body to be aware of differences. This is not the same. And that's a little bit of that sense of nervousness. Now, your conscious brain will be cognizant of the fact that this is a new job. So of course, it's going to be new, and would potentially have the opportunity to down-regulate that emotion or feel that activated body as something more like excitement. So you see how the feeling that we experience can be very different even with the same emotional state in our body. And this is important when we want to try new things and to make changes or to take risks. Because if we realize that our body is simply geared towards sameness and safety, then we realize that it's our brain that either down-regulates that emotion or agrees with the amygdala's assessment. So let me give you an example of something that I personally found very helpful. Sometimes we're very attached to a certain side of ourselves. So my example is I'm very attached to knowledge. I like knowing things. I like being informed. I like getting the sense that I've done my homework. And as a result, I have experienced a situation where someone mentions something that I feel like I should have known. And because knowing and knowledge is such a high value for me, that would feel threatening. And my interpretation of that sensation of being activated because I feel like I should have known something could very easily be intensified by my feelings, my interpretation in the brain of I should have known that, which will immediately intensify my emotional experience in the body. And when I allow that to happen, I begin to go into a fear response. A fear of rejection, a fear of judgment, a fear of primal fears, because I am in shame, effectively, of myself for not knowing something. And so that puts me in survival. And in survival, we're not very open. We begin to withdraw and shut down. And so what would immediately unconsciously occur is I would not be curious. I would not ask more questions, even though it would be a subject that I was very interested in. Obviously, I would be afraid of being curious because I was in a fear response. And so once I realized that that was an interpretation, it was an interpretation, and simply allowing my fears to take over, then I could reinterpret and say, this is an opportunity for me to become curious and to learn from this person. And that would downregulate my nervousness and open up all kinds of new opportunities for me. So that was more obvious to me once I realized what my emotional brain is all wired about. So here's the tip for this week. I want you to reflect on your body state, any nervousness that you feel, any anxiety that you feel, any threat that you feel. I want you to reflect on the fact that that is based on your emotional brain looking for sameness and safety. And I want you to take charge of your interpretation and understand that your interpretation will drive your feelings, and your feelings will either downregulate your emotional response or augment and supplement that emotional response. And see what that opens up for you in terms of an opportunity to be more deliberate, to be in a state of mind that is best suited for what you're trying to accomplish in the moment. I hope that helps. I hope you have a great week. Please share if you know someone that may enjoy this, and let me know what you think. Take care.